Welcome to my explanation of Dr. Ackerman's Performance Consultant Model by Kellee Statt for Human Performance Improvement, Stockton University, Summer 2015 semester. The Performance Improvement Model has 3 steps. We have the pre-intervention, intervention, and post-intervention steps. To begin the pre-intervention, you must first form a partnership or a group of people that are going to work on the project or plan. Once you have found your partnership, you have to define and request a plan. So what is going to be the plan? So once the request is defined, you need to conduct a performance analysis. To handle the performance analysis, you're going to first take what is. So what's the current status or the problem? Ultimately, what should it be? Where's your desired status? And where do you want to be in the future end? Between those two lies your actual need or your gap. Once you decide what your gap is, you can ultimately decide what the interventions are going to be. Are your interventions going to be training-based or non-training? Once your gap is defined, we're going to move into some other contract areas. So we first need to define our objectives. Your gap is technically going to be your goal, but how are you going to reach that goal? And that's where you're going to come in and define your objectives. Your objectives need to be in a SMART form. We need to be able to have an action, a behavior, a measurable, a time base. So when is it going to be due? Once you've defined your objectives, you of course want to review everything and take a step back and make sure that your objectives are going to meet your goal. And then if everything is good, you can move into the design phase of your interventions. So how are you going to fix or resolve the request, the original problem? Is it going to be training or non-training based interventions? Once you have your interventions selected, you're going to move into the next contract phase, which is implementing your interventions. So if it's training, you're going to actually conduct the training or implement the new help documentation or non-trainable interventions. Once those interventions have been implemented, you're going to measure what's going to be the results. How did it work? Did it help? Once you've measured your implemented interventions, you can review and report, and then ultimately you're going to monitor. So do we need to monitor and adjust, or just continue to watch and make sure that our requested plan was ultimately satisfied and fixed as a result of implementing these interventions? That is going to be your post-intervention phase. So we have the pre-intervention where we're actually discovering everything, and then we're going to move into designing and building and implementing our interventions, and then ultimately we want to monitor, review, report, and measure for our post-intervention phase. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.